Just to start off, I'm sure everything you've probably experienced in your life, everything you do in some form of a fashion has some kind of regulation. This is something we've all been used to our entire lives. Pretty much everything outside of your bedroom, there's some kind of law to it. Whether you act socially, whether it's an actual law itself, it doesn't matter. We're used to a lot of these. I'm sure a lot of us can think of laws that we either know, like we like, dislike, or just don't even know exist. But when does a law or regulation become to affect your well-being? So, and keeping with my discussion on credit cards, economy, and whatnot, the financial collapse of 2008 displayed a knee-jerk reaction by Congress to create the Credit Card Disclosure Act of 2009, more popularly known as the CARD Act. I want to discuss this and what it means to you as young people. There's certain aspects of this specifically catering towards you and the negative effects it has on your freedoms, economic freedoms. So, to get a little more into it, what the CARD Act is exactly, it's a federal statute that was enacted on May of 2009. Like I said, it's a knee-jerk. It was a quick reaction to the economic collapse and the recession and what have you. And it reforms consumer protection and lenders. It enhances disclosures of lending companies, and it protects young consumers, and that's what I'd like to focus on more so today. And it also reforms gift cards, which we're not even going to talk about. So, like I said, the CARD Act reforms regulation and prevents unethical practices within the economic community. But I'd like to focus more on Article 3, which protects young consumers, because it means a lot to understand why it does that as opposed to why it doesn't, and maybe you can form an opinion on why it does. So, first of all, why do you think they think you need to be protected? What did you do, or what is the consequence of this, and what does it mean to you? So, and why do you feel like you need protection? Better explained by Trent Ham of SimpleDollar.com. The Article 3 of the Credit Card Protection Act states that no one under the age of 21 can now own a credit card because of this. Not only that, if you want one, you have to get one through a cosigner or a legal guardian. On top of that, you have to have proof that you can pay the bill back on your own. So it's like having a cosigner without any of the benefits of actually having a cosigner. That's because you're under 21. So also you have to take proof or show proof that you took a financial literacy course from an accredited university. So is this really a step in the right direction, or is this more of a punishment for something you really didn't do? So, and this goes back to why it happened in the first place. I seriously doubt, a lot of you were probably in high school when the financial collapse happened. A lot of you don't understand why it happened. And I seriously doubt you were the culprits responsible that were lending in loans and stuff. Because you don't even know what I'm talking about right now, which shows how little responsibility you actually had and why you didn't do anything. So now you can't have a credit card because you're young. So, some of you are going to get that one. This talks about the concept of learned responsibility in young people that I've discussed in the past. Young people have shown in the past 7 years to be more financially responsible than the banks and lenders and what have you. This undermines the competency of young people to have credit cards. I think this is detrimental to the development economically for young people to mature and learn how to use them when the time is and the time is now. So, and on top of that, many young small business owners, there actually are young small business owners your age, 18 to 21, that actually can't get a credit card now for the business because of this act. So this is a slap in the face of them because they can't get a credit card now because of this guy right here. So, and many aspects of the Credit Card Act are important. Like I expect on Article 3 specifically, education is an important thing for anyone to do. It's okay. It's good to learn about certain things, but to make it a law that you can't have something because you didn't learn something, it's a little shady in a way. It's almost like getting a driver's test, but it's a little more convoluted. If we did fine without it as young people in economics, we would have done fine without either way. So, and with the Credit Card Act in its infancy, as it's called the Card Act, many lenders have found loops, like this guy, that they found ways to get around certain things because these are the same people responsible for the financial collapse in the first place. Corporate civil responsibility has not changed much since 2008. The same people that made it collapse before are the same people trying to get around it now. So they are researching evasion tactics to get around certain aspects of this credit card deal, apart from the young person's perspective, and they are succeeding in doing that. And what does this say about the fact that a fourth of this whole act is developed towards young people when these people are the ones that we should be following? Instead of regulating young people, we should double regulate the people that have been doing this. So, with these actions and reactions, where do we stand now? So, it has been a success. Consumers, by the USA Today, consumers have saved an average of $4 billion as far as restricting certain fees and regulations. Credit card use by young people is obviously falling because it's almost impossible to get one. But this restrictive effect has not really shown its backlash so far. The fact that you can't get a credit card now and that you cannot learn is going to tell itself off in the future. So we have not seen the effects that young people not having credit cards because we haven't seen that generation actually get credit cards yet. So now with the new restrictions in place that they cannot charge you certain bills, they cannot hide bills in certain things, and they can save as much money as consumers have saved in the last 3 or 4 years. Now would be a good time for young people to have credit cards, but you're not allowed to have one. So it would be a good time to have one if you're legally allowed to have one. So in review, the CARD Act is somewhat bittersweet. It undermines the responsibility of young people. And I think if you feel like you would have the desire to have economic freedom, that you can contact your local congressperson and ask them to get Article 3 out of the CARD Act to be removed. Because that's how democracy works. This bill is very young in its infancy, and if you cannot change something to make it more free, then it's just not an act worth having. Thank you.